Welcome to a fantastic episode of Rebellion's educational series. I'm here with Dr. Nadia Massoud, a professor of finance from Melbourne University. We're going to talk about the new world of coins and specifically a coin that Nadia built herself. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Well, thank you, Alex. Thank you for hosting me. I'm so excited for our conversation today.
My pleasure. So first, tell our viewers about this coin that you have built.
Yeah, this coin is close to heart because I'm professor of finance and I happen to be recognized in my institution, Melbourne Business School, as the blockchain Bitcoin professor, and start to teach the course myself as well. And I have a connection with the banks employee and one of the young scholars at the bank that I really liked, his name Omar. He also, I trained him when he was at Melbourne Uni. He's passionate about it, and we talked about issues that we experienced when we first moved to Australia. What we noticed when we rented our house, we have to pay what we call it security deposit. In Australia, we call it a bond. And this bond taken from us by government agency, held by government agency. And at the end of the lease, if there is no dispute between the landlord and the tenant, the money released as it is, and the interest accumulation is not given back for the tenants. And we start to question this process, like it was puzzling for us, our money sitting around, somebody using it, and at the end, you get nothing of it. And at the same time, we recognize if there is any dispute between the landlord and the tenant, those agencies do not help the dispute. Anyway, you have to go to court. So there is no help for resolving dispute. And giving our understanding of the decentralized systems, especially for a case similar to this, we thought that blockchain technology can be really useful. So why we needed a third party in this process? The third party is just to secure the money, but at the same time, the return is not distributed back to the owner of the money. At the same time, if you think about it carefully, actually you lose, because if my lease continued for 10 years and I deposited, for example, $5,000 for renting the house, the value of $5,000 after 10 years is lower because of the inflation rate. So I lose. So I lose based on inflation, and the interest earned, somebody took it as well.
So the catalyst for you to build this coin was to create a coin that could be used for consumers and not have to lose value?
Yes, exactly. So our value proposition is finding a solution for those parties involved with a security deposit. So I wanted to protect those parties who are involved with a security deposit. If you think of the security deposit, you have many ways of being involved in a transaction like this. The first common one is lease.
How is your coin different from Bitcoin?
Yeah, I'm coming. I will come to this actually. That is big difference. So it can be lease, it can be down payment on anything, for example, for renting machinery, for paying a guarantee that could last for a couple of years, especially when you are developing a project or something like that. So our coin, how is it? So basically what we do, instead of having an intermediary, let me just answer this quickly, and then I will answer the question, how is it different from Bitcoin? So basically what we do, you want to remove the intermediary from the whole transaction. The tenant and landlord, let's focus on this example, they can transact with each other. The transaction will be based on a code, and the code is embedded in a smart contract. The smart contract will be on a blockchain technology where all the participants can look at it, and if there is dispute, the court also can look at it. the money that deposited in that smart contract will be invested as well. There is lots of really good investment. It can be in the cryptocurrency space as well, where it mimics money market investment that can generate money for the landlord and the tenant, and it's up to them to decide how they want to distribute it and what kind of investment they are interested to choose. And this investment also, as I said, is money market, and it can be hedged. So we developed and we experimented with this for the past 8 months. What is the best investment strategy? And when we looked at it, actually, we could make a range of return based on the riskiness from 4% to 86%. And this is unhedged. Of course, when it's hedged, it will be lower, which is a huge return that we can create from 4%. This is the most secure, 86, little bit of risk you take, and it's calculated risk, it's not huge risk. So that's our role, is finding a solution, value proposition for the stakeholder in the security deposit transaction. And Alex, you asked a very good question about the difference between the Bitcoin and our CartaCoin, or our Carta project or application. There is a big difference. So Bitcoin, we call it fungible, which is basically used for transaction. So it's like our fiat money. It can be used for settlement. It's true now, with the way they use it, it could be part of it is investment. This is the way people think about it. But in the cryptocurrency space, we use it actually for settling transactions. For example, to get involved with any project, to enter the cryptocurrency market, I need one form of cryptocurrency. I will use Ethereum or Bitcoin to get there. Our coin is more used as a utility. So we tokenized the security deposits. So we use it as a utility to serve a purpose in the ecosystem of security deposits. So in other words, I cannot use Carta, if we created the coin, I cannot use Carta for transaction to buy a car. So this is similar to what they call it NFTs, which is the non-fungible tokens, which is, we call it also crypto commodity. So there is a cryptocurrency and a crypto commodity. Cryptocurrency for exchange, which resembles the fiat money. A crypto commodity, it is basically facilitating transaction. Another example of crypto commodity where you tokenize the land. For example, the land is you have a coin that represents that specific land. Our coin, our utility, used to within our ecosystem for the transactee to communicate with each other.
So is there a perceived value to this land? Let's say I buy land for $10,000. How do I use your coin for that transaction?
Yeah, I'm saying an example of, no, my coin is not related for land. What I'm saying, the difference between Bitcoin and a crypto commodity is my coin. Crypto commodity, another one, which is completely different, is tokenizing the land, which is not Carta, something completely different. The land, for example, and this is done in some countries already, and many countries, including Australia and others, thinking how we can actually tokenize those physical assets and embed the ownership on a blockchain technology or decentralized system, where proof of ownership is easily verifiable. Okay, so I own, for example, a land in north of New York. So the land in North New York will have a special code. A special code, we call it a coin. And this coin, it's the people think of it as a cryptocurrency. It's not, it's a crypto commodity. And that's what I'm talking about, the difference between, it is basically unique for that land, cannot be exchanged for payment, but it can be transferred as a transfer of a land ownership.
It's on public record through the blockchain.
It's in a public record. So, and you asked a very good question, the difference between Bitcoin and other currency. we call Bitcoin, and for example, some other also like Litecoin, for example. There are many of them, I said, Monero. They all cryptocurrency, and there are another one like Ethereum and the others. They are crypto commodities. They are used to facilitate the transaction within a specific ecosystem. So you're going to have a unique crypto commodity for each different application. In Carta, this is one of them. CartaCoin is just to facilitate the transaction. So it's not for fiat money.
But can you facilitate a wide range of transactions, or only funds for apartments and houses?
Yeah, no, I see your point. Can you facilitate a wide range of transaction within the security deposits? Okay. Yeah, for example, if we create that coin, and our plan also to go international. So we're going to have Australian coin, and we're going to have US coins, and we're going to have Canadian coins, UK coins. It's not the same coin in Canada and Australia because it reflects a different market. It reflects a different ecosystem. Okay, so that's if you want to think about it, how I can look. It is a new system. It's very hard to think of our traditional economy, how it looks like. But if you like, I remember when I was in Canada, we used to go to one Canadian Tire. So when we used to buy Canadian Tire, Canadian Tire is basically utilities and garden stuffs and homeware and so on. So we go buy stuff. They give us rewards, which is Canadian Tire money. Canadian Tire money, it's a money, we call it money, but is it like Canadian fiat money? No, it's different because I can only use it in Canadian Tire. So this is similar. So you have money that you use it for exchange widely in the economy, and you have a new, like another form of currency that used only within this ecosystem. And I think Canadian Tire will be a good example. It's just you need something to allow transaction within your ecosystem.
No, very, very cool. Facilitating transactions within an ecosystem definitely is a necessary item, and I could definitely see, CartaCoin being used for other types of transactions where funds have to be put in escrow. So it seems like it has kind of a potential for horizontal applications, similar to what you're doing with apartments, but there seems like a nice area for growth. So is this a for-profit company? Can you ever make money from CartaCoin, or?
Definitely. So the profitability for us, the difference between, for example, our profitability and the other profitability that can be earned with involvement of intermediaries is not comparable. Part of it because there will be part of the profit, which is basically just the starting point, is the fee. And additionally, we are creating a pool for the investment. For example, if we look now in the current market, there are hubs for us and everybody in the market to go and make an investment. Okay, so there are many ways to make investment. For example, I can provide my liquidity for staking, which is a proof of work of what's happening to make sure that the transaction is done correctly, verified, legal, and appended to the blockchain. Algorithm does it, not individual. But you need a hub, you need a system that allow and facilitate that, for example. So we can join those hubs and give our money. There is a protocol for the staking to verify those transactions. And every time you build a block and put it on a blockchain, that hub or pool, they earn money. They earn the money, they distribute part of it to the participants, and they keep part of it for themselves. And it's a transparent, you know exactly how much they make, and you know the distribution from the beginning. So we're gonna follow this kind of systems that already exist. We're not innovating that, we're not taking more, we are basically sharing the return. So the comparison between us and the existing system, the intermediary take all the return. In case of the retail housing market in Australia, it is regulated and the government agency take all the return. In case of commercial lease, is not regulated. The bank, the commercial banks, intermediaries, they take the deposits. They do not return any interest, but also the landlord, the tenant has to pay annual fee close to 2 to 2.5% every year.
Wow.
So it's a huge. So you remove this, like we are focusing, our first application is commercial lease. You remove this fee, and additionally, you give them the return. The return, of course, we're managing, we're investing in resources to resemble this money market transactions and invest in different applications that exist. And they know the return because everything on a blockchain is decentralized. We are only interested in decentralized. And they can see exactly how much basically rewarded and what is the distribution.
Well, this has been great. Crypto coins versus crypto commodities with Dr. Nadia Massoud. I really appreciate you coming on today. And before we say goodbye, I would love to hear if you have any concluding thoughts for our viewers.
So for me, basically, I am really passionate about blockchain and blockchain application. I would like people to have an open mind and do not judge from just what's happening in media, attacking Bitcoin and saying this is basically harboring crimes and prostitution, and we should shy away from it. I wanted people to open their mind and understand the technology and how to apply the technology for their ecosystem, for their businesses. There is lots of benefit from this technology. And I find it very hard for some people, especially traditional businessmen and women as well. They shy away from it just because of the reputation of Bitcoin. Open your mind, open your heart.
So
yes.
Do you have a view on Bitcoin? Are you a bull or a bear on the price?
I prefer, like when I teach, I usually don't do this. I don't, when I teach it, I only speak about application and the beauty of the technology and how we can use this technology to improve our business processes. I show them investment. For example, I don't have a favorite coin. I have more views about specific application for supply chain, and I investigate. For example,
what about Dogecoin? Did you have a view on?
No, I don't hold it. No, no. And the market now not doing very well, but I'm pretty sure it will come back. It always has been like this, going into cycle up and down. I don't advise people to invest heavily if you want to think of it as investment. When I teach this course, and also I do it for myself, I show students how you could improve the performance of your portfolio if you include from 3 to 10% of your total wealth in cryptocurrency. I use a very simple approach where you look at the efficient frontier, which is a very simple analysis. Look at risk and return and look at your whole portfolio. What would happen to your portfolio if you just get a small exposure to cryptocurrency? And I show them that. But by the end of the class, many students will come. Thank you. You opened my eyes. I opened my account. and I tell them, do not spend too much, 2,000-3,000, sample with it. And at the same time, I show them which applications, for example, you should focus on. Look for those that find solution for business processes, like Carta, for example, like Theta. I love Theta. Theta, it's a very nice application. It's for live streaming videos. My partner and I noticed the application early on. We made investment when it was in Sense, and suddenly Samsung adopted the app for streaming through their phones. So it becomes suddenly a very popular application. So go and look at the use cases and what they are trying to fix and who's likely to adopt it. Economy, it's one of the non-fungible tokens that we are interested in. It's more about gaming and characters. And we noticed it again very early on, and now it got licensing for everything from Disney, and getting lots of attention recently. And I'm very sure that this application also will be very successful. So look at the application, look what they're trying to do. Additionally, look at the founders, their background, who is supporting them, and make educated investment when you do this.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Professor. This was a fantastic conversation. And
well, thank you, Alex, for hosting me. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
pleasure was all mine, and I look forward to staying in touch.
Yeah, thanks.